Welcome back to my workshop. Now in today's video what I'm going to do is quickly review this thing, which is a hot air gun, and it's from Lidl's. So it's a Parkside hot air gun. Okay, this is a 20 volt cordless one. Now I wasn't really in the market for a hot air gun until I saw this, and I thought actually I think I'd prefer buy a Stanley one. Now as you know, I'm on the Stanley battery platform. So I thought I'll go and have a look and see how much a Stanley one is. Now I had a look and it's here, and the Stanley one was £65.95. So I thought, oh, that's a little bit more than I wanted to pay. So I quickly went through some others. DeWalt one, £89.99. Milwaukee, £81.43. Makita, £99. I thought a Ferrix one. Now obviously that's from Aldi's. Problem is you can't get them all the time. Same story with these, but the only one I could see was £45. Okay, Einhell, which is very similar to this one, okay, because it's the parent company of these, £49.98. But then I bought this one. Why is this such a bargain? Well, this was £15. Okay, now that's obviously with the Lidl app. But before that, it should have only been about £19. Now, all of these units are bare units, no batteries, and the same with this, no battery. Okay, but I have got batteries here for this. Right, so let's get it out of the box and see if this bargain is any good. Right, so what have we got here? We got the Parkside cordless heat gun, 20 volts. Okay, so this is on this battery platform, the X20V battery platform, okay, and it shows you here. The model number is PHLGA 20LI C2. Now this is the C2. I've seen a couple of other videos where it's got a different number here. I don't know what the differences are, but this one in particular is the C2. No battery, just the gun. Okay, maximum temperature settings, and now this is with the reducer nozzle, which is shown down here. Okay, it's 250 degrees and 550 degrees centigrade. Okay, I don't know if we're going to be able to test that, but if it's hot enough, it's hot enough. Air volume 170 litres per minute. We may be able to check that. And this one comes with a 3-year guarantee, but make sure you keep hold of the receipt. Obviously, I've got the receipt here just to prove that it was actually £14.99. Wow. Okay, 20 volt heat gun, and there's a number. Right, okay, and as I say, it shows you the 3 accessories that come with it, which is 3 different types of nozzle. We'll have a look at those. It shows you it's a basic application on the back and some of the controls. All I want to do is get it out of the box. Now this is not going to replace my existing hot air guns because they're mains powered and they are really good. Let me just show you the ones I've got. And I'll tell you why they're so good. Now you may laugh at this because I've got a Festool box here with my air guns, my heat guns in it. Now the box obviously costs about £50, but the air guns, these ones here, now they're Erlex. Now these things are ancient. I think I must have had them about 12, 13 years, something like that. And I bought them and they were super cheap. Now this one is a 2 kilowatt unit and this one is a 1.5 kilowatt unit. Now these have done so much work, but they're just excellent. You just take them out of the box, you turn them on and they heat up. They do exactly what you want them to do. Okay, so it's not going to replace those, but sometimes, even though that's conveniently in a box, sometimes you just want to pull something out, stick a battery on it and apply a bit of heat. Okay, right, let's get this out of the box. Right, quick look inside the box. It's quite a nice carry case actually. Inside you've got obviously the space for the hot air gun to go in, but you've also got spaces here for the 3 nozzles. And you've got a space here for the battery. Now obviously this doesn't come with a battery, but if you had one you can fit a 4 amp hour battery in there or the 2 amp hour battery. Okay, they both fit in there. Likewise here, there's a space for an additional battery if you want to store one. Okay, and also here is a space for the charger. This doesn't come with it and this doesn't come with it, okay? But it's just to show you when you do get them, which you obviously need them for this, you can store them all together. Okay, right, so that's the case. Let's move that out of the way and have a look at the accessories. Now the accessories you get with them are this one, which is basically a nozzle, a flat nozzle, which obviously it's for specific purposes like paint stripping maybe, but applying direct heat in a line. We'll try that, see what happens. This one here is probably used when you're doing heat shrink, and all they do is these things just fit on the end. Okay, that's how that works. That's how that works. And then this one, which is a small nozzle, okay, for concentrated heat in a single place. Same again, that just pops on. So that's all the accessories you get with it. You probably won't need much more. Let's have a look at the main thing. Okay, so this is the main body of it. All we've got is, we've got the trigger there. It's got a safety latch on it, so you've got to push this in before you push the button in. Okay, so push, push. Okay, otherwise the trigger locks. It doesn't actually lock to hold on. It's just a release, which is a bit of a shame. That would be nice, but we can live with that. On the back, you've got the controls here, which we'll go over once we plug it in. You've got a temperature minus, temperature plus, and a temperature, cold temperature. We'll go over what they all mean in a moment. You've got a little bit of a rubberized handle here, rubber on the back, rubber on the front, some rubber here. It's got a flat base at the back, so in theory it can stand up. Probably not a good idea to stand it on anything like carpet because it takes the air in through here. Okay, if you do that, you're going to end up suffocating it. And I've seen on another video, the front comes off. Yes, it does. I've seen someone use this for actually lighting a barbecue. Okay, and they took this off, obviously, because it's going to melt. So they could get right into the barbecue charcoals to light it with that. Okay, I won't try that because I haven't got any barbecue charcoal going, but that just fits back on there. On the bottom here, you've obviously got the part where your battery goes. Standard power tool battery, push it on, click, it's locked, push the button, release. Now I've got a 4 amp hour battery, probably better to use a 4 amp hour battery with this, but it should also work with a 2 amp hour battery. Now these, again, as I said, these do not come with it. You have to buy these separately, but don't forget, if you buy any of those, don't forget to buy a charger. Right, let's get these all out of the way. Should we plug it in and make something hot? Before we do that, obviously we've got the instructions here. It just stresses again that this comes without a battery. Again, model number here. What have we got in here? Some basic drawings to show you the different components of the hot air gun. It shows you the charger and the battery, but you don't get those with it. Shows you the controls on the back. Introduction, intended use, scope of delivery, parts description, blah de blah de blah. Intended use. Product is suitable for removing coats of paint on small surfaces for heating, shrink tubing, and plastic deformation and welding. It can be used to loosen adhesive joints and defrost water pipes. I don't want to use it for anything more than that, so this should be perfect for the job. I think the instructions cover a lot of safety stuff because obviously there's some heat involved, and then it goes on to different languages. But that's enough of that. Now let's plug it in to this bad boy. Right, I'm sure I don't really need to show you how to do this, but plugging the battery in is a simple case of locating it like that. That was easy enough. And then obviously to pull the trigger, you have to push that either this way or this way, depends on whether you're left or right handed. Push in with your thumb and pull the trigger. Okay, and that should start heating up. Now we've got a light here, an LED, just so you can see what you're actually heating up. Yeah. Now at the moment I've got that on the one with the minus sign. Okay, now that is for 250 degrees. Now this one here is for 500 degrees, and this one here is just for cold air. Okay, I think the idea is after you've been using it for a while, you push this one, just run it for a minute or so just to cool down the elements, and it should make it last longer. Or if you just want to gently blow. Okay, so let's cooling down. So what we do is we'll see if we can actually melt something with this. Right, the first thing I want to try, which is what I'll probably mainly be using it for, is heat shrink. Okay, so you've probably all seen heat shrink before. This is like a rubberized tubing, and when you've done a piece of soldering on a piece of wire, I'm not going to bother going through the soldering process with you because that's something that you do. But basically you put these heat shrink tubing over the top of your solder, okay, and then you heat it and it shrinks onto the wire. So let's quickly try that and see if it's any good for this. So for this one, I'm going to put it on hot, okay, and I'm going to use this little shield here, and hopefully you should be able to see. All right. Obviously it might take a couple of seconds to warm up, but there it goes already. Right. That worked a treat. Okay, so that's already on there. That's shrunk into position now. Still quite hot. But yeah, can it do heat shrink? Yes, it can. Does it do it well? Yes, it does. I'm impressed with that. Right, let's try something else. Right, for those of you that have watched my channel before, you may remember a little while ago I did the roof on my woodshed. And during that I used these, which are like a composite type of roof tile, okay? And I bent these using my other hot air gun. Now, it'd be a good test for this hot air gun to see if I can still bend these, but cordless. So that means I could have done it on the roof. So let me set this up and we'll see if we can put a bend in one of these. Right, so these are quite thick. They're about 5 or 6 mil thick. As I say, they're made of a composite material. Now, the way I did it before, I literally just put something to retain it like this. Let's clamp it with a couple of clamps. Now, all I'm going to do is for this one, I'm going to use this nozzle, okay, so I can get a line of heat. Okay, I'm just going to heat up here and see if I can bend it. Right, high setting, let's go. Right, that's bent there. I think to cool it down, what I'll do is I'll just push my cooling button and then give it a quick blow off. Right, so I am honestly impressed. I didn't think it'd be able to do that because it was hard enough for the corded one to do that. But this one is actually quite neat. The power isn't as much, it's not as rapid, but it's enough. It's enough to do this. That was on one battery. Still loads in it. Let's just give it a quick check here. Yeah, still got a full charge on there. Can you see that? Yeah. Yeah, that's impressive. Right, so what we're talking about battery, how long does it last? Now, on a 2 amp hour battery, which is the smaller one, on level 2, which is the hottest setting, battery runtime, 2 amp hours, 8 minutes. Okay, on the larger battery, which is the 4 amp hour battery, it says 16 minutes, which is still quite a time. If you're just doing a bit of heat shrink or just bending something quickly, that should be more than enough time. It can accept the 2 amp hour, the 4 amp hour, but also an 8 amp hour battery. Now, I haven't got one of those because that's a big boy, but with the 8 amp hour battery, it doesn't actually tell you how long it's going to last, but I should imagine it's a bit more than that. Right, let's quickly try and heat something else just to see if it can do that. Right, I just want to try a quick experiment here, okay? Here I've got some 50mm mini flow pipe, okay? So it's basically a drain pipe or downflow pipe that I use on my shed. Now I've got two pieces here, they're exactly the same size. What if I wanted to join them together? So what I'm going to try and do is heat one side and push it over the other side and see if it works. Now obviously if you're using a smaller pipe you could use this, okay, but that obviously won't fit around these. So what I'm going to have to do is try and rotate this and then fit it together. But let's try it, see what happens. It might get you out of a fix, say if it was Sunday night for example and the shop's already closed and you need to finish the project. Let's see if this works. Right, so without doubt that is fairly impressive. I've just made myself an adapter basically to put these two bits of pipe together. For a down pipe that would be perfect. Okay, with a little bit more effort I could probably have gone deeper. I probably could have made a better joint. No problem whatsoever. Right, just one last look. We're going to look at this little nozzle here. Now this one in theory will concentrate it into a single point. Let's try and heat something up and see how hot we can get it, if we can measure it. Right, I've tried measuring the heat here, but this is not really the right tool for it. I think really I need a thermal imaging camera. But one thing I want to try is using this nozzle again. If I do some local heating, I just want to see if I can actually push a hole into this plastic rather than drilling a hole. Let's see if this will work. Okay. Oh, it's turned it into mush. Look at that. But if it melts it, that means you can weld it. But we won't do that today. Right, I think there's enough mucking about. Right, before we finish up, I just want to try one more thing. Now this is obviously a cordless device, and it doesn't seem like it's anywhere near as blowy as this one, okay, which is my good old-fashioned corded one. Okay, so don't expect the same performance than you would get out of this. But just for information, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my anemometer, okay, which basically will measure the wind speed or volume. I'm just going to measure it in cubic feet per minute just to give you a comparison, okay. I'll do this very quickly because obviously this one I can't put on cold. This is going to be blowing hot air and I don't want to melt this. But this should give you a rough idea of the difference in performance between this one and this one. So let's try this one first. Right, so first off I'm going to use the PARKSIDE one. I'm going to set this to cubic feet per minute, which I've got here. We're just going to look at this number here and see if we can make a comparison. I'm going to put it on cold air, okay, and then just give it a blow. $2,400, 2,500. Okay, so about 2,500. Okay, cubic feet per minute. Now that was from about 6 inches apart. Now let's try this one. As I say, I'm going to have to be quick with this because I don't want to melt my anemometer. Okay, so 2,500 compared to, wait for that to stop. Okay, this one, 6.5, 6,800. Okay, 7,000. Right, that's enough because that's already hot. Okay, so that went up to about 7,000. So obviously this one is not as blowy as this one. Right, now that's enough mucking about. Right, so that's about it. That was just a quick look at this, which is the PARKSIDE X20V, which is a cordless device. Hot air gun. Now, is it any good? Yeah, I think it's going to be great. Now, I can leave this on the shelf with the battery. If I want a quick bit of heat, I can just grab it and go, rather than setting up and plugging it in. Obviously, the performance is not as good as a corded version, but the price of this one, for £15, you cannot go wrong. If I use it for a couple of weeks and it breaks, then that's fine, it's paid for itself. Obviously, you have to buy your battery, but if you're already on the X20V platform, okay, either the 2 amp hour or 4 amp hour, then you're laughing, because it's literally just a case of away you go. Okay, I'm on this battery platform, which is the Stanley FatMax. So in theory, I could buy an adapter, okay, to use this battery with this tool. I'll look into that and maybe cover that in a separate video. But for now, as far as Parkside's concerned, I think this is a great purchase. Right, that's enough waffling on. Does it do what it says on the tin? Yes, it does. Am I happy? Yes, I am. Right, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I often shop in Aldi's and Parkside. Shall I start again? Yeah, because that went wrong. I was supposed to say Lidl's. Welcome back to my workshop. Now, you know, oh God, I can't even get this right. Okay, but with the I was supposed to say Lidl's.